easier for me. So, hello everyone. My name is Elaine, and thank you, Shingy, for reaching out to me so I have this opportunity to speak with everybody here. And so instead of talking about resilience, which is the topic as stated in the Google form, I would like to revolve my sharing around one word: greenhouse. So I remember filling out a Google form when we were like signing up for this event, and seeing that word somewhere out of everything, that was the one that stayed with me.
Wait, actually, I'd rather say it without a mic because it's kind of like disturbing. Yeah, so can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So like when you guys think of the word greenhouse, it's usually associated with like you know that the house that the plants are situated in. And maybe it describes youth nowadays quite well. We're warm, we're protected, we're predictable, like everything is planned for us. Because we grew up in a country that's safe, we have schools, we have quality education, and we have the use of AI which can answer everything, so we have knowledge in our pocket. So if you compare us to the people from the previous generations, I guess you can say that we do live in a greenhouse. But you know how greenhouse, when spoke out of context, doesn't really have a positive connotation because it usually like kind of symbolizes fragility, you know, like reliance and vulnerability, like delicate petals. And I think that is not true because I don't think youths nowadays are fragile. I think the biggest battle that a lot of us have aren't like physical battles. You know, the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. We've all satisfied like the foundation, like you know the resources like food and water, and we're now desiring for like the top of the pyramid, like self-identity, like happiness, or you know those the ability to rationalize, for example. And so for me, my biggest battle I've ever fought wasn't about like physical battles or examinations or anything. I think it was against a voice in my head that drove me a bit crazy in 15 or 16. So like, okay, before I share my story, I'd like to say like maybe resilience only exists because fear exists in the first place. Like if there's nothing to be afraid of, what exactly are we overcoming? So just let me share about a personal story. Just a show of hands. Any of you have heard of eating disorder?
Sorry?
Eating disorder.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's quite a lot of us. And okay, let me put it out there first. I wasn't diagnosed with like anorexia or bulimia. I don't want to throw like big words out there, but I definitely was in a situation with like food. Like there was some like toxic relationship between me and the things that I eat. Yeah. So looking back, it wasn't really about food. It was more of like this debate or like this dilemma about my self-identity, and food was the projection of it. So, you guys know like food has calories and things, right? Like there's like energy value to it. And at that point of my life, I think I was very unstable. So I was trying to like clench onto something that I can control, and calories were very easy to take ownership of. It made sense. They were like numbers, and like I'm good at math, so it's like very easy to calculate the food that you eat. So I could control those numbers, and somehow I convinced myself that since I can do that, perhaps that kind of shows that I have control over my life. And it's quite funny and naive to say it, because obviously, like come on hindsight, that's not how it all works. Yeah, but the 15-year-old me genuinely believed it. So I wouldn't go on to like the very deep or like personal level of this, but like let me just like list some examples. So I remember I was like thinking about the number of calories I eat every day for a very long time, probably like a whole year. So you know like how the daily calorie limit, okay, the calorie need of a normal human is around like 2,000 calories. So I needed to restrict that. So I cut myself to 800 calories. So that's almost half of the recommended intake. So that was not very healthy. And so I'll be thinking about my next meal. I'll be counting the every bit of calories I consume every day. It was very exhausting, but the idea of accomplishing this like control was very rewarding. So it was a very toxic relationship. Like kind of like drives me crazy, but at the same time it kind of reaffirms me that I'm doing the right thing. So it was very exhausting lah. I remember, so this is like, okay, so you know like this is the circumference of my wrist. So you can kind of like visualize this, right? This is the size of my elbow. Like I could like cut my entire elbow with this. So before the situation escalated to its like threshold, I was around like 45 kg. Like that was pretty healthy. But at the peak of my disorder, I was around like 34 kg. I would say. It's like pretty serious. So okay, I have 5 minutes left. Yeah, so let me talk about the part on resilience. So what exactly did I do to overcome this? I think it wasn't a abrupt change. It wasn't a turning point in this story. I think it was just like a gradual like build up from mental battles every day. Like every day I would have to wake up and I have to tell myself to be brave and eat more. And it sounds really weird, right? Because like as a human being you get hungry and the natural thing to do is to eat. But for me at that time it was very difficult because like I'm like I need to like kind of like defy all the thoughts and like the opinions that shape myself for so long. So it was like really related to my self-identity. I was like my self-identity was threatened in the process of recovery. So it was very difficult for me. And there wasn't a turning point as I said before. I was basically like just day by day I just ate more food and then I think I gained a lot of weight in the middle and it was very scary for me because like again it's like against my original thought about it. So I guess at one point I was just focused on more things in life. So I had my O levels at that point, so I had to study for it. And I had a lot of commitments outside school. I had a scholarship to commit to. I had a lot of classes to attend. So I guess another breaking point for this was the fact that I just couldn't care more about it. So it eventually just like diluted and I got better. Yeah. Yay. So okay. How much time do I have?
4 minutes. 3 minutes.
Yeah, okay, let me go back. Yeah, so I think like the moral of the story is resilience isn't really about this like it isn't a big thing. I think it's a very ambiguous word and it's very hard to act upon it because like thinking about it is one thing but taking action is another. And most of the time it's very difficult to really counter everything that you've thought of at the start. So I would say like just if I were to tell my 15-year-old again, I'll just tell her like don't worry, the time will heal everything. Because I feel like after all there isn't this like there isn't this huge thing that will catalyze a change. It's just really those like small mental battles that will really cause like a small change in the long run. So yeah, I think be patient. And as youths, it's inevitable for us to feel our self-identity threatened. We're still at the stage of exploration, and we have a lot of like time in our life left for us to learn more about ourselves. So we should just be patient, and we should just learn how to like carry ourselves the best. And we should also be more like flexible or elastic about how the outcomes or like your external environment will shape you. So I think that's also something that I've learned, like to not be so stubborn. Yeah. Like self-identity, I think I'm still a youth and it's probably like naive to say this, but I feel like for me, like self-identity is really just about exploration, like experience, and then it kind of shapes you into who you are.